Your name, your address, and your phone number are floating around the internet. Easy for strangers, scammers, and companies you've never heard of to find. Data brokers and shady databases collect and sell your private details to anyone willing to pay, putting you at risk of nonstop spam, scams, and fraud. You can't stop them from collecting data, but you can control who gets to keep it. That's why I use Incogni. They remove your private information from more than 420 of these sites automatically. And with their unlimited plan, you get total coverage. If you spot your personal details anywhere else online, just send them the link, and their privacy experts will get it taken down. It's the easiest, most complete way to protect yourself and personal life. Right now, you can lock in 60% off with my exclusive deal at privacykim.com. Go to privacykim.com right now and start protecting your privacy. This is so important. Privacykim.com. That's privacykim.com.
Hello and welcome to the Kim Komando Show podcast for the weekend of March 25th, 2023. And we get started with Hour 1.
I always like to start with something interesting, and I want you all to come with me to Cary, North Carolina. It's a small suburban street, has a line of well-kept houses, a cul-de-sac at the end, and then there's also an apartment building. But it looks like a really nice neighborhood. Well, the reason why I bring this up is that there's been an active police standoff for the last 24 hours. So you have to picture 15 or so police cars all lined up, SWAT team standing all around. And in the middle of all this, an Amazon Prime delivery truck just pulls right up to the apartment complex. A 20-something-year-old driver, he jumps out of the van with a small package, and he walks all around the SWAT teams between the police cars and all the lights going on. And he hands the package to a cop, and he walks away just like this was a normal thing. It just happens all the time. As a matter of fact, I have the video posted over at my Instagram account. So that's Instagram.com/KimKomando. You have to see it. This is definitely an incredible sight to see. He is a delivery driver who obviously doesn't hate his job, because otherwise he wouldn't have done that. He would have just been fed up. Yes. And on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this. It's America's largest show about all things digital. I am, of course, America's beloved digital goddess, Kim Komando, here with you once again. And let me tell you, tech is not your friend, but I am. And if you're a new listener, welcome. We're glad to have you with us. And if you're a regular listener, hey, welcome back. And of course, you can find the show on over 425 top stations from coast to coast. We're streaming in your favorite radio app. Just search for my last name, Komando. And you can also find us streaming as a podcast and also as a webcast. We have our interactive chat room and message boards and good things like that. It's all part of the Komando community. And you get a 30-day free trial by going to getkim.com. And then we get discounts for, seems like anybody, I'll tell you. Service personnel, military vets, seniors, teachers, you name it. And again, it's just a few bucks a month over at getkim.com. And you can hear us on the American Forces Network Radio, serving more than 375,000 American servicemen and women in 175 different countries. And every ship at sea gets the Kim Komando Show. We love that. And the AFN network, they've been on board since 1942. Wow, isn't that amazing? And of course, you have a few questions about something digital I can lend a hand to. And our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And just a quick reminder is that you can always email me your questions. That's right. It's kind of old school. Just head over to komando.com, and in the upper right-hand corner, there's a link that says Email Kim. All right, every single day I visit at least 30 different websites, so you don't have to. This way I make sure that I'm up to date on all things digital, so I can make sure that you're also up to date on all things digital. And this is part of the show where I like to talk about the 5 big things that are happening in tech news that you need to know about. And we're going to start by talking about TikTok. Yes, okay. Roughly 2/3 of all U.S. teens are on the platform. It's been downloaded 210 times in the United States. And these are these short, bite-sized videos, and it makes it the largest social media app out there. Listen to this. 150 million Americans use TikTok. So you might ask, what's the big deal about just these little short videos of people dancing or, giving us a new life hack or whatever it may be? Well, TikTok is actually a big security threat. Think of it as you have your own personal Chinese spy balloon right in your pocket. Because here's why. The app collects search and browsing history, your facial ID, your voice prints, your text messages, your location, your photos, and more. Now, the reason why I bring this up, I don't know if you had a chance to see it, but it was pretty remarkable, is TikTok CEO Shu Chu appeared to be both knowledgeable and cool under fire in Congress this past week. He did a better job than Mark Zuckerberg any day of the week. And he stuck to the lie that TikTok is working hard to protect all of our Americans' privacy and especially our children. And of course, you know, we want TikTok banned here in the United States because its owners, ByteDance in Beijing, operates for the communist Chinese government. And they also have two other apps that you may not be aware of. CutCap is a video editing software program, and Lark is a collaboration app. Now, all these apps spy and report back to communist China. So I tell you, the questions that I was listening to in the parts and pieces that I saw, I was pretty disappointed. I mean, we had a lot of legislators that were really, concerned about our kids' privacy and, what the kids are seeing, if they're suicidal, and then the algorithms. And I think that's really important. Don't get me wrong. But I think what they're missing is the fact that with 150 million Americans having the TikTok app on their phones, imagine if we were able to get a message out and say we're China to all 150 million Americans that is fake news, right? So coming up in about 20 minutes, we're going to talk a little bit more about TikTok and a very important security tip. We're going to talk about how to make sure that you remove it and all the communist China spies from your smartphone when you delete the TikTok app. Because let me tell you, communist China is smarter than a lot of us in that you just delete that app. All the traces are not gone for good. You have to take some extra steps. So that's coming up in about 20, 30 minutes or so. All right, number 2 on our list of 5 things is, yes, deep fakes. Elliot Higgins was reading about the possible indictment and arrest of Donald Trump this past week. And he's like, hey, I wonder if I can make an image of this and make it come to life. So he turned to an AI art generator called Midjourney, and he starts putting in ideas for AI to make this art, this photo. Donald Trump arrested in New York City, Melania upset, Trump falling down during the arrest. Next thing you know, he's got a lot of pictures of this. So what does he do? He puts the pictures up on social media and he says, these pictures are fake. But it only took being shared 5-6 million times before suddenly people start believing that this is true. So what I want you to do is make sure that you keep your eyes out for the fakes before you start sharing or believing anything that you see online or even on your phone. All right, next on our list is number 3. We're going to talk about ChatGPT. It isn't human. Well, maybe it is. Talking about those CAPTCHAs, those images or numbers that you have to press to get into a website, find the 3 bridges type of thing. Well, ChatGPT-4 tricked a human into thinking it was blind in order to cheat the online CAPTCHA test. Here's what down. ChatGPT hired a TaskRabbit gig worker and to work with ChatGPT. Well, ChatGPT says, hey, you know what? Can you help me out with this CAPTCHA because I'm blind? Guess what? The TaskRabbit employee, yes, they did. Well, the ChatGPT, you have to remember, it's not human. But one of the things that we all have to remember is that it's getting smarter every single day. So as AI gets smarter and smarter, you need to start thinking about your careers. We're going to have a stat coming up later on in the show about ChatGPT and the jobs that are in danger. But let's move on to number 4 because Bard is here. Now, if you want a more tame look into the AI chat box, look no further than Google, who released Bard, their version of an AI bot this past week. I have to tell you, I was a little disappointed. It's vanilla toast. It doesn't have the depth that ChatGPT does. And in case you want to try it, you can go to Google Bard and then just sign up for the wait list. In case you're wondering, Bard got its name from the word meaning poet, as in Bard of Avalon, William Shakespeare, because they say it has linguistic capabilities that are phenomenal. But I'll tell you, if Google can't get its act together and compete with ChatGPT, things will go from Bard to verse. Yes. All right, this coming in at number 5. There's a new crime spreading like wildfire. Just like the Kia boys taught the world how to start Kias and steal them. Now there's some videos going out and it has to do with jugging videos. What is that? Well, if you come across a glue or cardboard near an ATM, I want you to steer clear of it. Do not put your card in there. It's called tap and glue. Basically, crooks are gluing a piece of cardboard into the slot where you insert your debit card, so this way your ATM card doesn't work. So somebody next to you says, oh, here, I can help you out. I'm going to help you out. So what they're doing is they're hoping that you get your money, and then you just walk away because you're so distracted about everything that's going on. And then that person is going to just walk right over and then withdraw as much money as they can out of your account. So be on the lookout for any type of glue or cardboard around ATMs. Viral videos, crazy stuff. But let me tell you, if time is money, I wonder if an ATM is a time machine. All right, coming up, we have some great tips like how to save important text messages forever. We're going to talk about what you need to know about TikTok when you remove it. And, you ever find a recipe online and then you got to go scroll through all that just to get to the recipe? No. I have a trick. You go right to the recipe. And, of course, we have all of your phone calls, and you have me, Kim Komando. Hey, our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. Coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to talk about smart water management. Yes, I know it's an exciting topic. All right. How about we start with your phone calls right now with Tom in Saginaw, Michigan.
Hello, Kim. How are you doing? Great to meet you and wonderful to be part of your show. You've got fantastic information. I wish, being blind, I could see more of it. But anyway, thank you for taking my call.
Well, how can I help you out today, sir? And thank you for your kind words.
Well, I started off with smartphones a little bit late. I got an iPhone 5 based on the advice of a salesperson. He had a blind sister, and the voice command capabilities of the 5 he favored, so I walked out an iPhone 5 owner. Then I went to a 7, and about 18 months ago, I went for another upgrade and got out of the iPhone business. Let's just say I went from apples to oranges, and that was a big mistake. And I don't have enough money to play keeping up with the phoneses, so I figured I'd call an expert and get some advice. I'm looking to get probably an older iPhone, like maybe an 11 or 12, because of the voice command capabilities. And someday I'm going to get my degree, and I'd like to get an iPad because I've heard they have similar voice command capabilities. And somewhere in between, I might get a smartwatch because it might help me navigate the driveway for shoveling snow or whatever I'm doing outdoors, because I try to be independent as well as being blind.
Boy, it sure sounds like it. It sure sounds like it. So have you always been visually impaired?
No, ma'am. This happened about 10 years ago when I was around 50.
And what happened?
They still don't know. The doctors at the Nashville VA were able to stop me from being blinder with some help from the Vanderbilt medical staff, but they don't know. I had a lot of cataclysmic events all at the same time, and they're still scratching their heads, as am I. And rather than buy a big expensive phone and have it do things I don't need, I'm talking to an expert. So here I am.
Well, okay. Well, the good news is that the iPhone has, of course, the built-in voice assistant Siri. Okay, and
right.
It does really amazing things. And so, since you had an iPhone before, you know how that works. But there have been many improvements to help the visually impaired. Like, for example, there's VoiceOver that reads out everything on an iPhone screen, including buttons, icons, and text.
Right.
And of course, there's Zoom, which lets you zoom in on just parts of the screen. So if you can still see some text or some images if you zoom in. Magnifier lets you use your iPhone's camera to zoom in on text or images. And now there's also the ability on your iPhone to actually identify things.
Right.
So
that would be really cool. I'm sorry.
Which I think is amazing. I mean, no, it would be great. I mean, it's there's an app that Be Your Eyes that I've used for, whenever I have a few moments, I hop on there, and it's amazing. Somebody can hold something up and say, is this a $20 bill or a $5 bill? And I'm like, it's a $5 bill. Okay.
Right.
So it's not a 20.
Okay.
Do you use Braille at all?
No, ma'am. I haven't got that far. I can see. I'm blind in one eye, and I can't see very well out of the other. That is to say, I can't see the big letter on the top of the eye chart anymore. So I can see a little bit.
You know what? Let me tell you something. Neither can I. Neither can I.
Really?
Okay. Yes, I can see out of my left eye, I can see like about 20, without glasses, probably about 20/60.
Ooh.
And that's why I asked what happened. And out of my right eye, I see 2350.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have complete empathy for what you're doing. Okay.
Well, it's a lonely thing. It's scary. I got to put a lot of trust in my phone. To me, it's a lifeline.
So with me, I had developed glaucoma when I was a little girl after an accident, and then right now on my right cornea, there's supposed to be anywhere between 500,000 and 700,000 live cells. Because I had a transplant when I was a kid. And right now I have 652 live cells.
Wow.
So I'm on the transplant list, just to let you know. So someday soon I'm going to come back and go, yes, I can see out of both eyes. It'd be amazing. So
that'd be fantastic.
I know. I'm really super excited about this. There's also facial ID. So if you don't want Face ID to require that you look at your device with your eyes open, it's just got all these amazing things.
Right.
What I'd like to do for you, Thomas, because as a member of the military, I have full respect for everything that you have contributed to our country.
Well, thank you.
And we totally support our military folks here on the Kim Komando Show. Is that what I'd like to do is to buy you a phone?
Oh, you don't have to do that. No.
I'm going to buy you a phone. You stop it.
All righty,
okay?
then.
I'm going to buy you an iPhone. And I'm going to put you on hold so we can get all your contact information.
Fantastic.
And then if you need help setting it up, okay, I want you to know that we will totally be here for you and with you. And there's going to be some logistics because we have to figure out who your carrier is and, you know, how we buy that and, you know, you pick it up and all good things like that, or you buy it online and have it shipped to you. But I just want to let you know that I'll take care of that for you.
Wow, that's incredible.
And then when you get your phone set up, I want you to send me a note, okay? Promise?
Absolutely.
Okay, hang on the line, Thomas, because we have to get all kinds of details for you. And, you know, it's what we like to do here at the Kim Komando Show, random acts of kindness from time to time to just make a big difference in someone's life. It's an honor to be able to do that. It always feels so good to help other people, isn't it? All right, let's talk about smart thermostats, smart lights, smart water sensors. Yes. Water heating accounts for 20% of your home's energy, and there's some big bucks to be saved with some smart water tech. Now, for starters, there are sensors that you can put on the floor that sends an alert to your phone anytime motion is detected. Next up, you can connect your home's plumbing to your phone with a smart faucet. Yes, that's right. You get the exact amount of water that you want, no more measuring cups. And also, smart water heaters work with your home's plumbing and electrical system to analyze patterns, predict usage. And I'll tell you, that's all just super smart. If you want some more information about all that, we have it over on the websites. Stay right where you are. Coming up in our security tip, we're going to talk about TikTok and how you can really remove it for good here on the Kim Komando Show. All right, we get this question a lot on the show. So before we go back to the phone calls, I just wanted to pass along how you save your text messages forever. And we're going to start with Android phones. There are a slew of text messaging backup apps in the Play Store, but the only one that you want to use is called SMS Backup and Restore. That's SMS Backup and Restore. Now, if you're using an iPhone, you can back up your text directly into your iCloud account. Just toggle Messages on in your iCloud settings. But if you're looking for a more robust way to deal with all your texts that you want to save, maybe it's for a legal case or maybe it's a family member or friend, use the app iExplorer. Again, that's iExplorer. It's going to save your phone's messages to your Mac or your PC as a PDF file. All right, if you need the names of these apps, again, just search the phrase backup your text messages over at komando.com. All right, Todd in Bozeman, Montana. Hello there, Todd.
Well, Kim, it's really nice to talk to you, and I appreciate your help today. Depend on your weekly show and your website and your newsletters greatly, and I've learned a lot from you, but I made a bit of a mistake.
Uh-oh.
I responded to a phishing text involving my bank. It looked official. The logo looked official. And it was kind of a perfect storm because I was trying to verify my bank account with one of the online bill-paying companies. So anyway, I thought there had been a problem with that, so I responded to it. Finally, in the process of going through giving them all this information and sending it, I thought, well, this is dumb. The bank's already got all this information. So the light came on. I immediately called the bank, and they were great. They put a lock on the account, and then over the next 24 hours, we opened new accounts. We new login information, and so that's all taken care of. But my concern is I gave out my Social Security number and my date of birth, and I'm wondering if there's anything I can do to help prevent the use of that, or I just have to watch for it, or
Yeah, it's you did the right thing in contacting the credit bureaus and good stuff like that. And of course, you can always monitor your credit report at annualcreditreport.com.
Right.
I mean,
yep.
and it's not, but I'm really glad that you realized what you did, even though it was after the fact, because I can't tell you how many times I get a phone call here, Todd, that says, I fell for it, and now it's like 3 months later, and I realize what's going on.
Yeah. It could have been disastrous.
And so you want to set up fraud alerts on all your accounts. And normally you want to put alerts like, say, if your credit cards are used without you there, or if somebody opens up a new credit report or credit card in your name or whatever it may be. There's also, if you go to identitytheft.gov.
Okay.
Identitytheft.gov is where you can file a report and you give the details of what happened. And then if something happens down the road, you can use this report to dispute any fraudulent charges with your creditors. You can place extended fraud alerts on your credit report once you file this report. And then you can also get copies of anything that relates to identity theft. And the reason why they put this together is so that this way they can say, all right, if we can get a whole bunch of Todds to tell us this story, then maybe we could figure out who is behind this.
Right.
But the big thing is just to be, keep your eyes open.
Yeah. Well,
and look at any unauthorized charges. And
I put a freeze on all the credit reporting agencies. And
which is smart.
I gather that they'll let me know if anyone tries to access my credit, but that's about all I've done so far.
Exactly.
I talked to Social Security Administration, and they were surprisingly lackadaisical about it. They said, well, there's not a lot they can do with just your number, but I don't know about that. So anyway.
Well, once they have your number and they have your date of birth and they have your name, everything is pretty readily accessible. Have you ever been to this website? You may have heard me talk about it on the air, called FamilyTreeNow.com.
I have heard you speak of that.
Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to go to FamilyTreeNow.com. I'm going to put you on hold, okay?
Okay.
And I want you I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to come back to you. I want you to tell me what's there about you. FamilyTreeNow.com. I'm going to put you on hold, Todd. And then I'm going to take another call. I'm going to come back, and then we're going to talk about that. Okay? Hold on. All right. This week's security tip is all about TikTok, because TikTok collects data, includes your search and your browsing history, your facial ID, your voice prints, your text messages, your location, your photos. And this is just way too much data about 150 million Americans that's going directly to communist China. So we have some questions that people have been asking me. Like, for example, are you safe simply watching the videos? Let's say you don't have the TikTok app installed and you click on links to watch some videos. You're all good, right? Because you're not really going through TikTok. Well, this is where it gets a little murky. Okay, and pixels come in. You see, big companies like Meta, Microsoft, and Google, they use these bite-sized pieces of code called pixels, and that's how they track their users. Now, TikTok is no exception. These pixels are installed across retail, e-commerce, travel, tech, governments, all kinds of sites. And the data such as your IP address, your shopping cart content, searches are collected when you visit these sites. Now, a TikTok representative admitted to Consumer Reports that TikTok, well, they actually get aggregated reports that they send to advertisers about websites, and what they're saying is that they're using a tracking pixel. So even if you just click on a video and you don't have TikTok, you still are getting a tracking pixel from ByteDance, which is a communist Chinese-owned company. So what can you do about it? Don't fall for the TikTok videos. It's just 10 seconds, 15 seconds of silliness that you don't need to better your life. So if you have TikTok installed, what's the best way to remove it? Now, of course, on your iPhone, you can touch and hold the TikTok app, tap remove the app, and then delete. And then you have to confirm that you actually want to delete it. Now, if you're on Android, a little bit different. You're going to go to the Google Play Store and your profile, and you're going to manage apps and devices, and you're going to tap the TikTok app, and then you're going to install it. Now, here's the problem. Some important tracking information can still stay on your phone that goes back to Communist China, even if you delete the app. So it's just not enough just to delete the app. So what you have to do is go nuclear. First, you back up any of your photos, whatever your important stuff that you have on your phone into your cloud account, or you can back it up on iDrive.com and use promo code Kim. You're going to save a ton of money. But then you have to actually do a complete factory reset on your phone. And I know you're sitting there going, oh, no, Kim Komando, I don't want to have to do that. It's a nightmare. I know it's a nightmare. I trust that you don't want to do it. Okay? I actually had TikTok on my phone over the summer because I wanted to see what all the hubbub was about. And I tried it for about 20 minutes, and I realized that I was on the treadmill running for 20 minutes, and I didn't even realize how fast the time had gone by. And it took TikTok about 3 to 5 minutes to actually know what I wanted to see. And I removed it from my phone, and I had to do a complete factory reset. And I know that it's not a good time, but it's just a necessary thing. If you have TikTok on your device, if you really want to get rid of it, you have to do a factory reset. And now, if you're not sure how to do that, just go ahead to komando.com, and then there's a link that says Kim Show. And we have all the steps that you need to completely reset just about any phone in the universe. And again, that's komando.com, and hit the link that says Kim Show. And I know it's not a happy thought. I know a lot of people are saying, well, I love TikTok. Well, if you still want to use TikTok, get yourself an older device, get yourself a cellular account on that device. Don't put it on your Wi-Fi. And you can only use TikTok that way without any of your really personal information heading back to Communist China. I mean, it's going to get some, but it's not going to get everything that you would if you didn't do it that way. And again, if you need more information, we have all the links and all the steps over on the website. That's komando.com. All right, still to come, we have more of your phone calls, as well as a great tech hack you're going to love about how to skip the fluff and head straight to the recipe when you're online searching for some good stuff. And of course, we have a lot more coming up here on the Kim Komando Show. Terry in Prescott, Arizona, welcome.
Hi, Kim. How are you?
I'm great. What's going on?
Well, we love your show. This morning I just became a grandmother. And
oh, congratulations.
My daughter-in-law's grandmother called me from Illinois, and she jumped through the phone. She, too, loves your show. So a shout-out to Virginia Snow. My daughter and her husband are PAs. They're traveling the world for this year. I am wanting to find a program that will document their blog and their photographs chronologically so that I can have them put into a type of encyclopedia or library to gift them when they come back.
Yeah, that's super sweet of you. That's super sweet. So maybe to create like a nice coffee table book for them?
But precisely, but it's going to be a year, and they started out in Guatemala with a medical mission.
Oh.
So they're going, as I said, they're going to travel the world. They do a blog, which Zach, writes every Tuesday to keep everybody up on. And I'd like to take that blog, download it chronologically, and then have it printed every single until I get up to the page, the amount of pages you can have for each book, and then keep going from there so that, like I said, so it's documented so I can gift it to them when they return home.
I think that's great. All right, so I'm going to give you links to these, so don't worry about it. I'm going to give you a couple of options, so you don't need to write anything down. Okay. There's a plug-in for Google Chrome that's called Go Full Page. And what it does, it will capture any page on the internet and then turn it into a PDF. And then from there, you could actually have all these PDFs of every single Tuesday, and then you can just cut, copy, and paste into books as you see fit, or you can just go ahead and put the whole PDF file right there inside the book. But it might be fun just to put the picture and then capture the text so that this way the pages aren't just looking like one PDF file. Now, there's also an app called SiteSucker. I know. It's like, who names these things? SiteSucker. And we'll give you a link to these. And this will actually download different websites to your computer. So you just put a URL in, and then it will just download all the photos and the images, same thing. It's going to download all the photos and all the texts and anything else that may be around, including comments that people may have left on those photos. So again, it's SiteSucker. Works on your Mac OS, also your iOS on your phone. And then also Go Full Page works for Google Chrome. If you're on Windows, there's a program called HT Track. It's been around for a long time. That pretty much does the same thing. It gets all your images and stuff. But how fun is this going to be able to make this whole book? And when they get back, they have this whole surprise for the welcome home party. And congratulations. Yes. Now you get to be called Granny. Thanks for your call today, Terry. You know what's fun? Once you have all the screenshots, you can make that photo book using, say, Shutterfly, Snapfish, or Mixbook, and it's really wonderful. All right, let's go back to Todd. So, Todd, over at FamilyTreeNow.com, what did you find out about yourself?
Well, Kim, it's doing a full scan, but it looks to me like it's got the keys to the kingdom right there. I mean, it looks like everything about me is there. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. How about, is it a landline? Did you find your landline numbers there?
Yep. Landline number is there. I don't see my cell number, but landline certainly is. So that's.
And how many addresses does it have for you?
Oh, gosh. If I can get back to that page, it had maybe a dozen addresses, and I've lived in the same place for 44 years. So, but they're all very similar. They're all in the same street, but the number varies slightly, yeah.
Well, it's got that. It probably has. And how many relatives does it know about you?
Well, it's got my son and my wife. Interestingly, it doesn't have my daughter listed. Of course, she has a different last name, so...
Or she may have removed herself, because every Tuesday over at Komando.com, we call it Opt-Out Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to we teach you how to get yourself out of these public databases, so that in the fact that maybe your social security number, your name, and your date of birth is available for dark web, which of course it is, that they don't have all this other information that they can use against you. So over at Komando.com, you want to hit the section called Opt Out Tuesday and search for FamilyTreeNow.com. And then we'll teach you exactly what you need to do to opt out, which I think is so funny. So we do this every single week, and we've been doing it for, say, the last, 40 weeks or so. And then suddenly, lo and behold, they started changing all their directions on how to opt out. So we had to go redo it all again. Was that a quinky dinky? Because they're all owned by one major company? I don't think so. So anyway, Opt Out Tuesday, every Tuesday at Komando.com. Todd, thank you for your call. All right, so you finally found that perfect recipe online, but when you open the page, you need to scroll paragraph and paragraph and paragraph till you actually get to the recipe. It's super annoying. So if you want to skip this story and just jump right to the steps, there's a fantastic app and Chrome extension. It's called Just the Recipe. And here's how it works. So you found this chocolate chip recipe, and if you want to skip everything, all you do is feed that recipe's URL into Just the Recipe, and like magic, it gives you all the ingredients and all the steps that you need. Plus, you can also save your favorite recipes to your personal cookbook in the app for easy access in the future. So just head to justtherecipe.com to download the app or get the Chrome extension. And, oh, by the way, another cool way to skip the recipe if you don't want that is just hit Control F and type in print. Or in a Mac, it's Command F. So you're going to find the word print on that page, and then that should shoot you straight down to the recipe, which is a lot of fun. Hey, by the way, I just want to remind you that if you're listening to us on the radio, we love that. Yes, great. But you can also get Kim Komando Today as a podcast, Monday through Friday. You're going to love it. So wherever you get your podcasts, just search for Komando with a K, of course. And yes, and then you can go Komando. Yes, with a K. And do me a favor, tell 3 friends about our show and podcast. And you can find me 24/7 at the website. That's Komando.com. If you own a home, listen up. This is scary. The FBI is warning about a crime on the rise. home title theft. And it doesn't happen the way you might think. No break-ins, no stolen keys, just a forged signature on a single piece of paper filed with the county. In minutes, criminals can transfer the title out of your name, then use your ownership to drain your equity or even sell your home. The worst part, most people don't know what's happening until they get collection or foreclosure notices in the mail. That's why I trust Home Title Lock. When you visit HometitleLock.com/Kim, you'll get a free title history report and a 14-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, including 24/7 monitoring of your home's title, urgent alerts to changes, and if fraud does happen. Their U.S.-based restoration team will work to restore your title, covering costs up to $1 million. Don't wait. Protect your home and equity today. Get your free 14-day trial at HometitleLock.com/Kim. That's HometitleLock.com/Kim.
Greetings from my bath, festive friends. The holidays are overwhelming, but I'm tackling this season with PayPal and making the most of my money. Getting 5% cash back when I pay in 4. No fees, no interest. I used it to get this portable spa with jets. Now the bubbles can cling to my sculpted but pruny body. Make the most of your money this holiday with PayPal. Save the offer in the app.
Ends 12/31. See paypal.com/promo terms. Points can be redeemed for cash and more. Pay in full subject to terms and approval. PayPal Inc. and MLS 910457.
Hey, thank you for being a Kim's Club member. We really appreciate it. And you're listening to the Kim Komando Show podcast for the weekend of March 25th, 2023. Here's hour 2.
Okay, I always like to kick off the show with something interesting. And the PR team over at Twitter has been completely quiet since November. What happened? Well, you know, CEO Elon Musk, he got the layoff fever and he got rid of a bunch of people who probably weren't working anyway. But right now, if you email the press department of Twitter, you don't get some generic email back that says, oh, your email's important to us. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. In true Elon Musk style, you get back one thing. You get back one emoji. That's it. Can you guess what the emoji is? It's not a smiley face. It's not a thumbs up. It's not a check mark. In response to your PR request, you will get back from a $41 billion company, you get back the poop emoji. That's right. Why? Elon Musk says these PR requests are all BS, and he doesn't mean Bible study. Hey, on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, to this. It's the Kim Komando Show, because after all, I am America's beloved digital goddess. And the Kim Komando Show is the top show about all things digital. We've won numerous awards, and you can find us on over 420 top radio stations across the U.S. And you can find us as a podcast, a webcast, over at getkim.com. And you can also tune into us on the American Forces Network Radio, serving more than 375,000 American servicemen and women in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, Coast Guard, and Space Force in 175 different countries. Love that. And just a quick reminder, you can always drop me your questions if you're just too shy to come on a big-time show and podcast. Over at Komando.com in the upper right-hand corner, there's a link that says Email Kim. All right, every single day I visit, I'm not kidding you, at least 30 different websites to make sure that you're up to date on everything digital, so I can pass along some things that I think are really important for you to stay up to date. And this is part of the show where I like to talk about consumer tech and things that are happening. And we're going to start off with Google, because there's a scam that's spreading like crazy that you need to know about, because I don't want you to be taken. So you get a text message, and it's a warning from Google. And they say these sneaky identity thieves, here's what happened. They've grabbed a hold of your Gmail account. And it says, your Gmail account has been compromised by hackers. But it says, don't worry, you're going to get a call from Google to verify your identity. So it looks like it's coming from Google. But in order to get the phone call, you have to text back, ready. Well, this isn't Google, okay? This is a highly sophisticated phishing scam. And if you see a text like this, I want you to delete it, report it to your carrier. And it's really easy to do. All you have to do is forward that text message to spam, which is 7726. Once again, you just forward it to 7726. Which, by the way, did you hear about the cannibal who switched to spam? Ready for it? He says it's the greatest thing since sliced Fred. Sorry, I know, it's bad. Let's move on to number 2, your tax dollars at work department. The FCC has finally woken up. It's now requiring cell carriers to block scam texts from sketchy numbers. This is really amazing. It's genius. It took the FCC 11 long years to come up with a highly sophisticated plan. Yes, I'm going to share it with you right now. Make sure that you pay attention because this is totally crazy with a capital C that the FCC is going to this extreme. The FCC will block automated texts that are likely to come from scammers if the scammer is using an unused, unallocated, or invalid phone number. Wow, it took them a long time to come up with that strat, didn't they? Oh my gosh. So what does this mean to you? In about 60 days, the carriers are going to have to block these spam calls. But in no way is this going to stop the scammer calls. They're just going to come up with a new way to get around it. Because here's why. It's the money train, folks. About 70 million Americans lost money to phone scams in the last year. And those scammers made off with nearly $40 billion. $40 billion. Moving on to number 3, watch out what you're buying on Amazon. Say you're at the club and you see some bottles of eyelash remover laying around. You're like, what's going on with that? Well, not really to enhance your lashes. It's GBL. It's a party drug that will get you feeling, they say, euphoric. And it turns out that a lot of parties are showing up with these eyelash remover. And it's being purchased on Amazon. Has been purchased on Amazon. They've now hence taken it down. But I will tell you that GBL is actually approved for industrial use, like taking out stains or rust. And so it still can be sold in that form. But if you see eyelash remover being sold on Amazon with a lot of weird reviews, because I'm sure they took it down, but I'm sure it's going to pop up again, just make sure that you don't buy that one, because I don't want you to get the wrong one. And this isn't the first time that Amazon's gotten in hot water over fake listings. I don't know if you remember this, but last year, drug cartels were selling lawn decorations on Amazon that were filled with meth. I know. What a world. Move on to number 4. I love it when tech does something super smart. Now, if you haven't ever been skiing, here's what happens. You get to the top of the lift and there's always a restaurant, and then you're hungry. You're famished because you've been skiing and expending all of these calories and energy. So you have to take off your skis and you put them in a rack and maybe you tie your poles around it, or you put your friend's skis in front of yours because yours are more expensive. Yes, I've done that. And you hope that somebody doesn't take your skis because then you're going to have a hard time getting down. I mean, you can always take the gondola if there is one, or there's a chairlift, but somebody just stole your skis. Well, now there's a company by the name of Pebblebee, and they are fighting this type of crime by embedding GPS trackers into skis. This is so smart. The device is compatible, they say, with both the iOS and Android platforms. It's wirelessly rechargeable. And this way you can track your skis using a tracking app. So this way you know exactly where they are at all times. Wow, isn't that something? You know, I was a little worried about the future of the sport of Olympic skiing because I love watching that. It's just going downhill fast. Number 5, some Starlink sightings. So we're on the same page. Let's talk about Starlink. It's Elon Musk from SpaceX providing satellite internet access. I have it as a backup for my internet service, and I'll tell you, it works flawlessly. It's really, really, really great. Let's see, the gear costs around $600, and then you're looking at maybe $125 a month for some great internet access. Now let's head to Amazon. Not that one, the other one in Brazil. So when Brazilian authorities were on an investigation deep within the rainforest, I've been there in the Amazon. It's really something. They found a Starlink terminal. Then they're like, what's going on here? And then gunfire and criminals are running all around. It's like, what's happening? So why would a Starlink terminal be hidden deep inside the Amazon jungle? What's going on? Well, last year, Elon Musk teamed up with the Brazilian president to connect rural schools to the internet and keep a watch on illegal mining and logging. So this year, the opposite happened. Criminals are using Starlink to find areas for illegal mining and even to evade the police raids. And that's not the only strange thing that's going on with Starlink. It also has to do with UFOs. So there's been this huge spike in UFO sightings in the last year. What's going on? Is there a correlation? Of the more than 600 UFO sightings than normal in 2020, each one coincided with one of SpaceX's Starlink satellites. So if you see a UFO, it may not necessarily be a UFO. It may just be a Starlink satellite from Elon Musk's SpaceX company. Which reminds me, what did Mark Zuckerberg say when the U.S. shot down a UFO? What did Mark Zuckerberg say? He said, "Oh no, not my Uber." I know, he looks like an alien. All right, coming up in this jam-packed hour, we have some police scanner apps I think you might want to check out. We have our trivia question. Oh, and this one's all about vinyl record sales. It's kind of a tough one. Oh, our money tip, I'm going to tell you how I saved $456.76 in 5 minutes using an app. And then later on, 5 signs that your webcam has been hacked. And of course, we have all of your phone calls, and you have more of me, Kim Komando. Hey, our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And how about we start with Stephanie in Mesa, Arizona?
I fell for one of those Ponzi schemes. At the time, it was a family. It was my sister-in-law. She just was like, hey, a bunch of families getting together. We're all pitching in $500 each. And then 4 people put in $500. That gives it to the top person that already put in their $500, and it starts like a tree. Well, after I got to the very bottom of the tree, I realized I'm never going to get my money back. And so I looked it up and found out it was actually a scheme. But I saw the people that got paid out. I sent them the Zelle money. These are all people I know. They fell for the scheme too, but they got money back, and I just didn't. And so I don't know.
Yeah, it's a pyramid scheme is what it is, Steph. You have to recruit others to put money into the scheme in order to receive a larger return. And how did you send them the money?
Through Zelle.
I don't know if there's anything you can do to get your money back out of Zelle or anybody else. You can consider filing a dispute with Zelle and explaining that you were a victim of a pyramid scheme and you didn't knowingly participate in it, and maybe they have some type of fund that they can give you your money back or part of the money back. You should also report the scheme to what's called the IC3 It's ic3.gov because they go after folks who are putting this together. I'm sorry that you felt for this. It's always unfortunate because you think, well, and you had the authentication, the verification from your family members, right?
Right. I saw one of them got $30,000 in his account. I saw it with my own eyes. So that's why I was like, oh, this is cool. And that's what made me go for it. But he was he was 2 months before me. By that time, thousands of people had signed up. So only those top people got paid, but they had bought so many of the first spots that later on I realized that the rest of us had just been, schemed, like you said. Zelle does not let you get your money back. I tried right after I realized what happened a month or two later. They strung us along. And the guy that ran he has now passed away. So. Oh.
Well, lesson learned? I mean, let me tell you something. If I could put $30,000 or $500 into something and get $30,000 back, I would be like right there next to you. Okay.
Right.
I would.
That's because this is like, I'm kicking myself.
It's like, okay, so I can get 6 to 8% in the market or, maybe 4% if I did a great CD or government issued bond or something. This is amazing returns. Amazing. Yes. But, unfortunately, sometimes when it's, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. And Stephanie, I'm so glad that you took the time to call because I bet you just helped other people unknowingly right now, Stephanie, who are sitting there in the same spot saying, yeah, but I could make so much money. I could. Again, you can file that complaint at the Internet Crime Complaint Center. That's ic3.gov. I wonder what she's going to tell her family and friends now. Okay, back to the phones we go with Doobie in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
So thank you. I've been having trouble with my cameras. I got Wi-Fi cameras. All right, one was a Genie camera. I had bought 2 from Walmart, and they plugged in, hooked up to your Wi-Fi. And I don't know how people was breaking into them. I would change my passcode 10s, 20s of times. I would change my Wi-Fi passcode, and they was still it would be still stuff missing. I could say how could it'd be parts of the film missing, it'd be like parts where they be in my house taking things. It'd be gone, but I don't know how they do it. Then I brought another camera from Walmart. It was a Roku home camera, but it motions around and it catches thing, and they still getting into this. What is my problem? What am I doing wrong?
Well, how do you know that someone's going into your cameras and they're erasing? Because you said like some footage is missing.
Yeah, footage is missing. Yes, footage is missing, and footage is missing of the act. It'll be like maybe 119, then it goes just 240. But that whole segment is missing.
Well, sometimes cameras, they only record when motion is detected.
Yeah, I'm saying. Excuse me, I'm sorry, ma'am. That's what I'm saying. When motion was detected, that's when it would say motion is detected. But then that motion that would be detected, it would be gone. It won't be there. The picture would not be there. It just be it'll skip to something else. I mean, like, it's been happening for the last almost year now. Like, I just got new cameras, and I'm thinking, like, it's the Wi-Fi. I did a little research myself. They say if somebody, only way that can happen if somebody had your Wi-Fi set, and I'm not sharing my Wi-Fi set with anyone.
Are you sharing your internet connection with anybody?
No one. Nope. No one.
Did you have anybody who maybe, used to live in the house and they don't live in the house anymore?
Yes, but I brought a whole new prepaid box.
You bought a whole new, I'm sorry, sir, what?
Yeah, I brought a prepaid box from Boost. I pay $45 a month and get unlimited service from Xfinity.
Okay. Well, what I was going to is that there could have been somebody who maybe just wants to mess with your head a little bit.
Okay.
And if they had, with the router that's in your house that's distributing your Wi-Fi, if they can get into the router, they have access to the devices on the network.
Okay.
So what you want to do is if those folks, are no longer living with you, but they did at one point, they probably may know the router's password. And so what you want to do is change that router's password. If you're not sure how to do that, we have all the instructions over at komando.com. And you can also use what's called the Advanced IP Scanner. You might want to do that too. What it does is it analyzes the wireless network, and there's a big green button that says scan, and it will tell you all the devices that are connected to your Wi-Fi. So this way you can make sure that nobody's not, actually jumping on your Wi-Fi and then getting in the cameras and then kind of messing with your head just a little bit. But again, that's Advanced IP Scanner. But if somebody lived in your house once, this is a rule of thumb, somebody lived in your house once, okay, if you haven't changed the router password since they vacated the premises, now's the time to do it, because you never know what they could have enabled. Doobie, thank you once again for your call. We have more phone calls and more tips, tricks, and secrets that you can't miss here on the Kim Komando Show. Now, when playing Commanding the Tech World Trivia, you really need to think. It's not like we're going to say, what year was the first optical mouse invented? No, we want to go deep in technology. And joining us this week is our very special guest contestant, Judy in Modesto, California. Hi there, Judy.
Hello. How you doing, Kim?
I'm great. So what do you do in Modesto?
I work in logistics, transportation, and warehousing.
Awesome. Well, this is a logistic question, kind of almost. So I bet you're going to do really good. Now, if you do get the correct answer, I know you're pretty excited, but you're going to win the most valuable prize, an official Kim Komando Show fanny pack. Yay. Yes. Okay. All right. So, Judy, before we talk, I have to ask you a question. Do you know what a vinyl record is?
Absolutely. Yes, I do.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure that a lot of people say, younger kids are like, is this a Frisbee? No, not really. Okay.
Oh, no. I have a whole supply of them. I saved them from the 50s.
Oh, okay. Well, this is, you know what? I think you might get this right. Okay, because vinyl record sales, I don't know if you know this, but it's been climbing for almost 2 decades now. They were up year over year in 2022, 17%. Topping, this is not vinyl record sales, $1.2 billion. So what's happening is Gen Zers, to guys and gals in their 70s, they're loving vinyl records. They say it offers a warmer, richer, natural sound, and there's a ritual of selecting the record and putting it on the turntable and then dropping that needle down, and you're going to get a more enjoyable experience. Now, production capacity lags way behind demand. So, like, for example, the global output for vinyl records is 160 million records a year, but the demand is closer to 400 million. Okay. So we have this backlog. So vinyl record plants are being scooped up as investments like never before. So our question today has to do, who recently purchased a huge record pressing plant? Okay. So I'm going to give you 4 options, and then it's up to you to select who actually just bought a record pressing plant. Okay. So our first option is it A, Amazon, because they're selling one turntable that is generating $8.5 million a month in sales? Is it B, Michael Jackson's estate, because after all, Thriller, released in 1982, has sold 66 million copies, making it the highest selling album in history? Is it C, Nancy Sinatra, because Frank Sinatra's LPs are outselling any other LP over the last 18 months? Or is it Metallica, that rock group that was formed in LA in 1981? They won 9 Grammy Records, Best Metal Performance, Best Rock Album, because the people who listen to Metallica buy their LPs over CDs or digital music. So the options are, for who recently purchased a record pressing plant, an LP pressing plant, was it A, Amazon, B, Michael Jackson's estate, C, Nancy Sinatra, or was it D, the group Metallica? So who do you think it was?
I'm going to go with A because they have the money and the big bucks, and I believe that they want to be the first going on record. I want them. I really think that they would make the investment. They want to get ahead of the curve.
Let's see. Judy is going with A, Amazon, because they're selling one turntable that is generating about $8.5 million a month in sales. And let's see what our judges say.
No.
Metallica.
Metallica. Oh, my gosh.
But I will tell you, all those other fun facts that I told you were true. That Amazon is selling one turntable then they're making $8.5 million a month in sales. Michael Jackson, of course, Thriller was the highest selling album in history. Frank Sinatra is actually really big among Gen Zers, but Metallica recently purchased this Furnace record pressing plant, one of the largest producers in the United States. They have about 100 folks on staff, a 70,000 square foot facility. They turn out 25,000 records a day. Okay. But you know what's interesting as I was putting all this together? Of course, you know the group ABBA, because you're a dancing queen, I can tell.
Yes,
is that they have ABBA has an outstanding order right now, and they're saying this is part of the backlog for 200 million LPs, 200 million records. Wow. Just like crazy stuff. Okay. Well, sorry you didn't win the fanny pack, but I know you have a question for me, so how can I lend a hand?
Well, first of all, I want to tell you that my boyfriend and I think you're amazing, awesome, and we listen to your show every morning, morning. So without ado, yeah, you're welcome. I mean, you are the goddess when it comes to IT, just so you know. So here's my question. I'm launching my website in about 2 weeks. And I will be blogging. I'm getting ready to launch my book on my website, so it had to be really robust. I have over 6,000 business cards that I want to download on, scan them. But what apparatus would I use to do that? Because I want to do like an email blast. To all my.
Yeah. How long have you been collecting these business cards? Because 6,000 business cards, that's huge.
For over 20 years.
You know, people jump around a lot. I'm just wondering if there's a better way to do this. So the purpose of the 6,000 business cards is for you to generate an email list so that this way you can use MailChimp or Constant Contact to send them a promo about your book. Is that it?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
All right. Well, we can talk about that. It's definitely not difficult to do. Are you Mac or Windows?
Windows 8.1.
Microsoft has something called a lens scanner, and it's an app, and it can convert your cards to text. And so that this way you can, you can save them out as a CSV file or what have you, and then upload them to MailChimp and Constant Contact to send out that list. And it's not a bad idea to do that. The whole spam law says that you've had to have people like opt into your list, and that's generally what it is. But if these are people that you've done business with before, it's not a bad idea. I mean, if you can get 100 people to buy your book, that's really awesome. And we'll send you some more information about Google Lens as far as the app where you can download it on both Android or iPhone. I know that you say your Windows, but it's kind of the same thing. When we're talking about Microsoft Office Lens, you can also find it inside the Microsoft App Store itself. Okay, so it's Microsoft Lens. I just want to make sure that I help you as much as I can. So you're going to be blogging, you have the website, you're going to have these 6,000 people on your email list, and then that's where you're going to use MailChimp or Constant Contact. Is that what you're thinking?
Correct. MailChimp. I'm going through MailChimp, and I'm on the fence right now whether or not I'm going to do a newsletter. I've done one in the past. I was very successful with it. And right now on LinkedIn, I have over 4,000 contacts.
You know what? That's awesome, Judy. That's fabulous, because that's exactly what I was going to tell you next. I said set up a logistics group on LinkedIn, and then you can start putting information in there. Say, the best days to post are probably Tuesday, Wednesday on LinkedIn. Correct. Between 9 and 11 in the morning and, say, 3 and 5 p.m. And then, of course, your book's going to be available on Amazon, so you can just link to that. That's pretty awesome. So Correct. what's the gist of the logistics? I mean, what's your angle? What are you doing? What are you teaching people?
My angle is what I'm teaching people is about my 30 years in the logistics world as a woman. I started in the 90s, and there was basically no women in the business, in the logistics business, and I was told by several men that I needed to go home and make babies and that I would never make it.
Yeah, well, here we are.
So I'm here now. Here we are.
Well,
and I worked with big companies.
I had similar experiences being in the tech industry. As far as being the only woman in the tech industry, guys telling me like, oh, if you want to succeed, you have to have dinner and, that quote unquote date with me. I'm like, I don't think so.
Right.
That's just not gonna ever happen. Okay. It's just not. But if I can help you any way along the road, I just want to let you know that I'm here for you. I mean, I'm a small business owner. I'm not part of any big major corporation at all. And this is homegrown stuff. So if I can lend a hand to whatever you're trying to put together, Judy, just let me know. Check out that Microsoft Lens. We're going to email you off some information for you to check that out. For everybody else, it's available in Microsoft, Android, and also for your iPhone. And it does work pretty seamlessly. And I think it's going to be great for you, Judy, to get all those names in there and maybe sell a few books along the way. All right, speaking of entrepreneurs, there was a sign above an Instagrammer's entrepreneur's door. Just a sign right above the door. And you know what that sign said? Carpe diem. Get a link, DM. I know. All right. About, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, I got a call from Kip, and he's our executive vice president. He's like, we have a new sponsor. It's Rocket Money, and I think you need to try the app. So I tried the app, and I was like, not really sure that this is going to be anything great. And then in about 5 minutes, I figured out that I saved almost $500. Wow. Here's how it works. It goes in and it finds all these subscription services that you've signed up for, and you don't remember that you even signed up for them. And so, for example, it found that I signed up for Paramount Plus Premium, and that was $120. HBO Max, $191.88. AAA, didn't even know I had AAA, $145. And then it's also right now negotiating to get me lower rates on the New York Times website, the Wall Street Journal website, and also on my Peloton membership. And so if you are sitting there, you're wondering, how do I keep track of all these subscriptions? You really need to get Rocket Money. Now, if you go to rocketmoney.com/Kim, is this way they know that we sent you. Once again, that's rocketmoney.com/Kim. And I've got all the details about how to use it in this money tip over on the website. Head over to Komando.com and hit the link that says Kim's Show. But I will tell you, this is something that you need to check out. It's rocketmoney.com/Kim. All right, still to come, 5 signs that your webcam has been hacked, and we have more of your phone calls here on the Kim Komando Show. All right. Jeannie in Tucson, Arizona. Hello there.
Hi there, Kim. I love your show. I watch it. I listen to it as often as I can. And thank you for agreeing to speak with me.
So what's going on?
Well, I have QuickBooks desktop, and I've had it for about 15 years without any problems. Some years I would upgrade to the newer version. Some years I wouldn't. This year, I was informed by QuickBooks Intuit that I had to pay $549 to renew my subscription for a year. And I really didn't want to pay that much money, so I declined to pay it. And now I cannot get into my data on QuickBooks. They've sort of locked us out.
So you said you were always using the desktop version, not the cloud version? It was always the desktop version?
Yes.
Here's what I think. There really shouldn't be any reason why QuickBooks is holding your files extortion, because that's what it feels like, right? It's like, oh, just give it back to me. Right?
Yeah.
What I would try is to, number one, make sure that you have a backup of this folder someplace. And then I would uninstall and reinstall the software from scratch, just to let you know that we're still using here at the studios a 2019 version of QuickBooks. Now, they are saying that as of May 31st, 2023, that the QuickBooks desktop for Windows 2020 is going to be phased out and they're going to discontinue it. And because they are really trying to push all of us into the cloud. So if you don't want to pay that $549, right?
Yeah.
What you can do is that there are really good free alternatives to QuickBooks. Let me ask you, do you think you're running a large, medium, small business?
Small.
I was going to say, are the revenues less than, say, $10 million a year?
Oh, yeah. They've never been higher than about $500,000, and now it's smaller because we're sort of getting ready to retire, which is one of the reasons I didn't want to have to pay $549 to, renew the subscription. We're trying to reduce our expenses as our income is reduced.
Sure. Well, that makes sense. Okay. We don't want to raise expenses when our income's going down. Okay. That's,
exactly.
We don't, that's not the way accounting goes. There's a free program called GNU Cash. That's GNU Cash.
Okay.
It's free, open source. You can use it for your payroll, your bank accounts, your income expenses, and it will actually import a QuickBooks file. There's also a program called Xero. It's spelled with an X, Xero, and that's free for small businesses. And there's also Wave Accounting. So I think, take a look at GNU Cash, then take a look at Wave Accounting. Because they're free. And then Xero I think sometimes they bring you in and then it's like, okay, for that feature, you have to pay another fee. I hate that. Right. So the bottom line here is try to, remove the program and reinstall it. Make sure you have a backup of your QuickBooks data file. And then let's look at some other options to save you guys some money. Okay, GNU Cash, Wave Accounting, either one of those two. If you need more information about either of those programs, we have them over on the website. And thank you for your kind words, and thanks for your call today, Jen. If you need any help afterwards, I'm always here for you. Okay, here's one for all the accountants. What do you call it when QuickBooks enters the atmosphere? What do you call it when QuickBooks enters the atmosphere? A journal entry? I know. So you look at your PC or Mac and you notice that your webcam light is on. It's kind of creepy because you're like, I haven't even opened the camera. So your light should only come on when the camera is in use. So if you see it any other time, maybe the webcam has been hacked. You also see maybe some weird icons or unfamiliar programs pop up on your desktop. Maybe creeps could have installed some software that is accessing your webcam. If you're getting some unexpected pop-ups or documents in your files, that's another red flag. Maybe your friends start receiving weird messages or emails from you. Your webcam could be compromised and the hacker is sending and receiving data from it. And finally, look for any browser extensions that you did not install yourself, because the hackers can use this to turn on your webcam. But anytime that webcam light is on, you really need to pay attention to that if you're not using it, because something is going on really bad. Hey, do me a favor, tell 3 friends about the show and podcast, and don't forget, you can always find me 24/7 at Komando.com.
This episode is brought to you by Buffalo Trace Distillery. Powerful yet smooth. Contained but never tame. Proudly going their own way, but never going alone. This is the spirit inside Buffalo Trace Bourbon. Made at Buffalo Trace Distillery, the world's most award-winning distillery. Buffalo Trace is always perfectly untamed. Distilled, aged, and bottled by Buffalo Trace Distillery, Franklin County, Kentucky. 90 proof, 45% alcohol by volume. Learn more at buffalotracedistillery.com. Please drink responsibly.
Ray-Ban Meta glasses come with open-ear audio, so you can listen to your favorite music without blocking out the world around you.
Hey, Meta, play Gorgeous.
Here's Gorgeous by Doja Cat.
You can also ask Meta AI questions.
Hey, Meta, when's Doja Cat's next concert?
Doja Cat is playing at the Los Angeles Theater next Tuesday.
Sweet.
Ray-Ban Meta glasses, available at Ray-Ban stores and other authorized retailers.
We're up to hour 3. It's the Kim Komando Show podcast for the weekend of March 25th, 2023.
This is unbelievable. As a small business owner myself, people are whining and they're crying all over social media about Apple. Why? Because Apple is making their employees come back to work in the office 3 whole days a week. And guess what the big, bad Apple is doing? Guess what they're doing? They are taking attendance to make sure that people are actually showing up. And so they're looking at the logs of people swiping their badges when they go in and out of the building. So some of the comments that I saw online on these stories, this one, how can you work for a company that doesn't trust you? How can you do that? Somebody else said, my privacy has been violated. Privacy has been violated by swiping a card to go in and out of the building? Okay. This one was my favorite. I'm so depressed about this. I can't work during a recession. Okay, all right. Here, let me help you out. What's the difference between a recession and a depression? What's the difference between a recession and a depression? One is when your neighbor loses their job. The other is when you also lose your job. And on that happy note, welcome to the Kim Komando Show. I am, of course, America's beloved digital goddess, here with you once again. It's the nation's biggest, baddest show about all things digital. And you can find our award-winning show on over 425 top stations from coast to coast. And we're streaming in your favorite radio app. And you can also find us streaming as a podcast, as a webcast, 24/7, 3 months worth of archives over at getkim.com. And a special hello to all of our listeners in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, the Coast Guard, and the Space Force who are listening to us right now on the American Forces Network Radio. All right, this is part of the show where I like to talk about the numbers, right? The numbers that you see in the headlines and what they really mean to you. Because every single day, speaking of a number, I must check out over 30 different websites. This way I can pass along all these tidbits to keep you up to date. And we're going to start with the number 10. That's right, 10. A lot of people are freaked out over ChatGPT, about their careers and what's going on and how AI is taking over the world. Well, I saw a study this past week from Princeton, NYU, and Penn State, and they came up with a list of the top 10 jobs that are most likely to be exposed by AI. And get ready for a surprise. Almost all are teachers, different types of teachers, every kind of teacher except for phys ed. We're talking English, history, law, philosophy, sociology, the list goes on. And then the most likely job to be replaced, oh, AI, we love you. The number one job that's going to be replaced by AI, telemarketers. That's right, with deep fake voices and everything else. They're just going to get shrewder and shrewder and shrewder. I just wish the FCC could figure out a way to stop all this. So anyway, new goal for you. Here's what you want to do. Make sure that you are really conscious of your skill set. Make sure that you are the best that you can be. Up your game, because AI is coming in a big way. We are at a pivotal point in our lives right now. Much like when the iPhone first came out and we changed everything, AI is changing everything this very moment. So you have to make sure that your future is protected. All right, let's move on to number 2, Palm Readings at over 200 locations. Palms and Panera, right. Panera is deploying Amazon's Palm Reading payment technology system to more than 200 locations. So this way, if you want to order your bread bowl with soup, you just wave your palm in a scanner and you get your order and it gets charged. And then it's also your own loyalty system. So soon enough, you're going to get those free cookies from Panera. Amazon's Palm system is called Amazon One. It creates a unique palm print for each and every one of us, which Amazon then associates with a credit card that you use to sign up at a kiosk. And if you have an Amazon account, it's also associated with that. Now, Amazon and everybody says, don't worry, your palm print images are encrypted. Your palm print images are secured in the cloud. You can trust us. We are Amazon. I get that. But just remember, unlike a credit card, you can't cancel your palm print if it gets stolen. And if someone gains access to your palm print, they could potentially use it to make purchases or to access your various accounts. So for right now, I'm going to say a big NO to using this type of technology because your palm lines, they tell a lot about you, but your browser history tells everything. Moving on to number 3, 5 people got paid to smell your new car steering wheel. What? Okay, you've heard of CEOs and CMOs. Well, now there's something called the CSO. It's the Chief Sniffing Officers. That's right. The great minds over at Audi have a 5-person team, and they're known as the Nose Team. I'm not making this up. They get in the cars and they sniff the steering wheels, the seats, the trunk, to make sure you're getting just that right scent in your new car. And the goal is to make sure you have that new car smell, because, all the technology around just can't replace the old sniffer yet. They say the materials used to manufacture cars, they all have distinct cells, so these odor scientists, they calculate just how much of a specific material can be used so that the car has this certain kind of aroma. They actually have a smell scale, 1 to 6. 1 means it's odorless. 6 is like, oh, this is unbearable. This is gross. Hey, did you hear about the cowboy who opened up a German car dealership? He's an Audi partner. Hey, that one was a good one. That one made me even laugh when I wrote it. All right, moving on to number 4, 1 bottle of wine and a few locks of hair. Thanks to technology, I'm sure you've seen pictures of Ludwig van Beethoven and his thick curly hair. It's a mystery on why he actually died because he was only 56 years old. Well, back in the day when someone passed away is that they would keep a few locks of their hair. So fast forward to today, we have these strands of hair of Beethoven. So what they did is they sequenced it by doing a complete set of DNA found in every single cell. This is really fascinating to me. So what did they find out about Beethoven? Though they discovered that Beethoven had a genetic risk for liver disease and evidence of a hepatitis B infection. So he died of cirrhosis of the liver. Why? Drinking. He drank at least 1 bottle of wine every single day, at least 1 bottle of wine every single day. And last, this coming in at number 5. Somebody left a prototype phone at a bar? What's going on with that? Yes, it turns out a Google Pixel phone has not yet been released, but somebody found it and they put it up on eBay. And as a Google prototype, starting bids $1,650. It got 8 bids and it sold for over $2,500. Wow. Okay. Keep in mind that the phone probably, when it comes out, it's probably worth about $500. So there's no way to say if it was a real device or not. Google's not talking, but apparently this is not the first time that this has ever happened. I don't know if you remember back in 2010, a prototype iPhone 4 was left in a bar in Redwood City. In 2012, a Google Nexus phone was left in a bar in San Francisco. In 2017, a OnePlus 5 phone was left behind in a New York City, not a bar, a New York City coffee shop. That's right. So speaking of things, I'll tell you, last night I just had this vision that I was on stage singing with REM performing Losing My Religion. Then I realized it was just a dream. It was just a dream. Coming up, I have a great trick on how you can check for dead batteries in your TV remote by using your phone. And then we're going to talk about whether or not your car is hackable and what you can do about it. And also, we have the secret, the right height of a video doorbell cam. And of course, we have all of your phone calls. You have me, Kim Komando. Hey, our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And I'd like you to join over 400 1,000 folks who get our newsletters. Visit komando.com/subscribe. This way you can sound like a tech pro even if you aren't one. That's komando.com/subscribe. Okay, Alexa and Siri. So think about this. How many times a day do you actually say that? Of course, if you walk into a room and you say Alexa, all these Amazon Echo devices just might pop up, or even an app on a phone. Now, imagine if your first name was Alexa. Well, that would be one thing, you want to think about. And what if you also had the name Siri? But what if your name was Alexa Siri? Okay, joining us here on the Kim Komando Show, special caller line and viewer line is Alexa Siri herself. Hello there, Alexa. Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Kim. Thanks for having me.
So has your name always been an issue, or has it just kind of popped up over the last 10 years or so?
I would say over the past decade or so. And when it was first, I guess, became a thing, which is some weird story with a journalist who contacted me about my name. It was so funny because none of my friends put two and two together with the two names until it became this story. And then they were like, oh my goodness. But yeah, definitely a lot more over the past 10 years or so. And it's calmed down a little bit, but still relevant, still feels like a little part of my identity. So
seems like you should be making like a cut out of every time somebody says Alexa or Siri, right?
That's what people ask me all the time. They're like, are you getting paid for this? I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong here, but not yet.
So has it ever happened to you, like where somebody called you and they didn't mean to call you, but they meant to call their virtual assistant, and you were like, what? Or vice versa?
Oh, all the time. When I'm in meetings, on different like calls, I get the either or all the time. Either they'll say Alexa and they're talking to me and their thing goes up, to which like I feel obligated to apologize because I'm like, sorry, this happens a lot, or vice versa.
So would you ever consider changing your name?
No, I actually, I really like it. I felt like Alexa wasn't one of those names that was super common on the playground. It was like different enough. So that was why I liked my name kind of growing up. Now that it's actually Alexa, obviously it's the opposite situation, but I don't know. It's a nice icebreaker, I would say, when I do get to meet people. So I like that part about it.
Well, you mentioned icebreaker. So imagine having the name Kim Komando, right?
Yep, okay. I love it. It's go Commandos, your hashtag, right?
Yeah, exactly. I can't tell you how many people, even when I was a kid, oh, I bet you go Commando, or something like that. And I'm like, now as an adult, I'm like, as a matter of fact, I do, if you care to know, TMI, whatever. But with Alexa Siri, it is an icebreaker because people will probably be like, if you introduce yourself at a public setting, they're like, I'm sorry, what is your name? Right?
All the time. I used to be a server, so I got that a lot. And then, yeah, I guess it's kind of just at a point you kind of embrace it. So there's definitely been a couple of times where people have been like, wow, Alexa. And I just tell them my last name Siri because it makes it a little bit more fun. Usually they ask to see my license or something because they don't believe me.
Okay. So do you have any children yet?
I do not. Mm-mm. Just dog children.
That's okay. They count too. Mine's Abby. Okay. And she's 90 pounds. I had no idea, Alexa, that she could be 90 pounds. I don't know why I didn't know a golden retriever would grow to be 90 pounds. But now I have this massive being who still thinks like she's a lap dog. But anyway, here nor there, if the roles were reversed, would you knowing what's going on right now, would you have named you Alexa?
I guess that's a hard question. I feel like if you would have asked me in the beginning of all of this, I would have been like, yeah, of course, like it's fun. But oddly enough, there are some groups of people online on the internet that are very passionately against this. There's like groups who are trying to get Alexa like banned as the name or changed over. And I was like, this is kind of crazy. But one of the women who were in the group said a lot of that reasoning was because her daughter was named Alexa and she was she had some bullying going on at school for it. So I guess in that way, I kind of sympathized with it. So I guess that's hard. I don't know. I like everything that's come of it, so I can't say I wouldn't.
Well, you know what? You strike me as a person who can just roll with anything. And so I think, Alexa Siri, you are pretty amazing. And thanks for spending some time with us and explaining what it's like to have the name Alexa Siri.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Kim. Go Commando.
Yes, you got it. I mean, can you just imagine 20 years from now, Elon Musk kids will be like, Dad, you really thought naming me X-12 was a good idea? I mean, how did you come up with X-12? Because that's what he named his little boy a couple of years ago. I mean, is it true that the cat just ran across the keyboard? That's what came up. Oh, man, poor kid. And I thought Kim Commando was bad. All right, how about a fun and practical party trick you can use to impress your family members and friends? Using your phone, you can check to see if the batteries are dead in your TV, your soundbar, or in your streaming device's remote control. I mean, how do you know if the batteries are dead or if it's just not working? So here's how it works. First, you're going to launch the camera app on your phone. Then you aim the remote control at the phone's camera. Now here's the party trick. Press any button on the remote control and then take a look at the screen. If you can see a flashing light on the camera app, it means that the remote control is working fine and the batteries aren't dead. But if you can't see any flashing lights, either the batteries are dead or the remote control is totally busted. I know, bummer. Now, here's something else to keep in mind. The remote control batteries, they usually last anywhere between 3 to 6 months. And if you missed all those steps, we have them all written out over at Commando.com. All right, you want to stay right where you are because we have more of your phone calls coming up. We're going to talk about whether or not your car is hackable and what you can do about it. Allie's going to be joining us with some party tricks, some more party tricks. And, of course, you have more of me, Kim Commando. All right, still to come this hour, I got the right height for your doorbell cam. And then coming up in just a few minutes, do you have a hackable car? Do you? Well, I'm going to tell you how you can protect yourself. And right now, joining us here on the Kim Commando Show is our very own amazing content queen, Allie Seligman. Hello there, Allie.
Hi, Kim.
So I love party tricks, just like the one I passed along about checking your smartphone's battery. And you, I have to admit, you are the queen of these tech hacks. I mean, you're always coming up with some great ones. And so that's why I wanted you to come on this week and share some of the ones that are the things that everybody's like, oh gosh, I wish that you would have taught me this sooner, or I knew this sooner, because you would have saved me time and energy, and my thighs would have been thinner, and I would have made more money. Okay, well, maybe not all of that. So wow us with one great one first, Allie.
Did you know? Do you have a Kindle, Kim?
I don't, but Barry has, I think, 7.
Okay, that's enough for one household.
Yes, exactly.
Every time I tell someone with a Kindle this, they say, what? Your Kindle has an email address. You can email things to it. You don't have to go through the Amazon website. You can just open up your inbox, send an email to your Kindle. This is really handy for a few things. Maybe you have an ebook file. Oftentimes I will download free ebooks, legally free ebooks from the internet, and you can just email those right to your Kindle, open it up, it syncs, and great, it's there. So you don't have to be stuck in that Amazon ecosystem.
That's a really good one. I have to tell you, Barry has given me his older Kindles because I know I really think we have 7 or 8. But I just, maybe it's me. I just can't get into it. I mean, I've tried reading by the pool because, it's really good outside.
Yeah.
But I always sit there and I'm like, but I just read. I can't bounce from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing.
You're a reader or you're not. I get it. I'm a big reader. I like the Kindle because I go through books so quickly that going to the library again or buying books or whatever it is just so time consuming. I would rather just be able to, open the Libby app, which is another really good tip. Free with your library card. You can get, any books you want for free.
Yeah, that is a really fabulous app, by the way.
It's so good.
Because even if you don't have a library card, because who has a library card anymore? You do because you're like that nerd that has one. You're tell me you were not in the band. Were you in the band, like the school marching band?
I was in the orchestra. I played the violin for 15 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yep. That's something new about it. I just learned it. The violin, do you still play?
No, I haven't played it in 15 years.
Okay, that's it. All right. Okay, so moving on. What's another one?
If you got a Kindle, one more little pro tip for that Kindle too. If you are traveling and you want to, you're sending yourself all your documents, like, maybe your flight stuff, your hotel accommodations, anything else that you want to have a copy of. Well, what if your phone dies? If they're PDFs, you can send those to your Kindle and store them there, which is smart. So nice. You just have an extra backup.
So what do you have coming up next? What's our next great tip, Al?
Say you're sitting there and Kim, you are shopping for Barry. You're getting Barry a present and you hear him coming up behind you. Now, you can do the really suspicious thing where you slam down your laptop case. You can minimize all your windows, which also looks very suspicious, doesn't it? Yes. You can minimize just your active window, and it's really easy to do on a Mac especially. You just hit Command H. This is easy to remember because H for hide. Command H, and it gets rid of whatever window you're currently working in. So whatever you're buying for Barry, he's not going to see it. It's a little trickier on a Windows PC. You're going to hit...
Of course it is.
You're going to hit Alt Space N. Hey, usually I feel like the commands are way harder on Apple because you have to hit like Shift, Control, Option, Command. Alt Space N does the same thing. It'll just hide the window you're in right now. So if you're trying to be a little sneaky, it looks less suspicious than closing everything all at once.
You know what? I do that because sometimes when he comes in, he looks at everything on my screen, and I'm not even buying anything, But he's like, "So what'd you get a text message from John? What did you say?" I'm like,
"Quit
get
snooping.
out of here!
Stop
it!"
it.
Exactly.
This is an AI use that I really like. AI can summarize things for you. Now, Kim, you and I have talked about this in a different context. With is it really fair for AI to summarize, say, a Commando.com article and not give us any credit for that? No, probably not. But say you want to learn about something and you don't want to get stuck on Wikipedia for 15 minutes learning about, anvils. You can just ask ChatGPT. It happens to all of us, right? Whatever, random thing. You can ask ChatGPT or Bing or Bard or any of them, hey, summarize this for me in 100 words. And so you'll just get that quick little hit of whatever you're looking for. You can also ask, you can send, again, say a Wikipedia page and say, tell me about the history of blank. And it'll go through, it'll find that info for you. So it's kind of like a little, too long didn't read, does the work for you, which is pretty handy.
It is handy. And I have to tell you, when I was writing the article about TikTok and we were going through all this stuff, is I went over to ChatGPT and I said, I just wrote this article about TikTok and how to make sure that it's gone from your computer for good. I need a nice, and this is what I typed in. I typed in all this. I need a nice, snappy, clickbait headline for this article.
Awesome.
Okay. So it comes back and it says, I'm sorry, we are not subject to clickbait headlines. We are not going to provide anything that, I'm like, so I took out the word clickbait and I used and said, I need to create a headline that will garner attention. And then it came up with get TikTok off your, get off your machine, your device right now. And I'm like, okay, so sometimes you just have to talk to it a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Use certain words.
Yeah, you can kind of massage that question a little bit if you don't quite get what you want. Also, a little clickbait note. I like to think at Commando.com, yes, we have very clickable titles. Clickbait is when you don't actually follow through. You don't show people what they clicked that for.
That's true.
We promise not to fool you with clickbait. We will actually deliver on our clickable headlines.
Clickable. That's what I'm going to use next time. I'm going to say, I need a clickable headline.
Yeah.
I'll tell you if it comes back and says, no, we cannot provide a clickable headline.
Only headlines no one will click. Credit card. This is to save you some money. Now, you're buying electronics, say you're on Amazon, and you get that pop-up that says, do you want to add a warranty? No, don't. Those warranties usually are not very good. So, okay, you know that. But then what happens if, say it was a product that came with a 1-year warranty, you're at month 13 and the thing breaks? One of your credit cards might actually give you a longer warranty. I'm going to get a whole list of these probably next week over on Commando.com because it's so handy, but a lot of different credit cards will double your warranty, sometimes even longer than that. And even maybe if it's not truly an extended warranty, they might replace the product for you if it's broken. I read all kinds of reports. Somebody who had an iPhone It was out of the 1-year warranty. They didn't buy Apple Care. At month 13, it broke. Their credit card company paid for a whole new phone.
Nice.
Yeah, somebody who bought, you know those massage guns? Mm-hmm. Somebody bought one of those on Amazon. I think it was like, it had a year warranty. Almost 2 years later, it broke. They contacted their credit card company. They paid for a new one. So doesn't hurt to ask.
I respect people that do that. I mean, because I'm not that person.
Me neither.
After 2 years, I'm probably going to be like, well, just throw it away instead of saying, I wonder if I can get my money back. So that's a really great tip.
Yeah.
That was a good one. I love that.
I like that one too. And remember too, your credit cards, travel related, they might pay for things like, if your trip gets canceled, you might get reimbursement for certain things if your luggage gets lost. So check into those credit card benefits you have. There's actually some really good stuff in there. All right. This one. All right. We always talk about the great things you can do on your iPhone. Us Android people get left in the dust. This is one for you, my Android people. You can very easily send a text at a different time. You can schedule it out. Now, you can do this on iPhone, but it's a pain. You have to go through the shortcuts. It's a whole thing. On Android, though, write out your text, and then before you send it, so instead of, quick tapping that button to send the text, hold down, and you'll get a little menu that pops up that says, when would you like to send this? And so you can schedule it for later. Yeah, I do that with email. I never think to do it with text, but, maybe you think of something late at night and you realize, maybe 2 a.m. is not the time to send this. Or,
I'm bad. Yeah, I'm so bad. I just send it. I'm like, that was so rude. That was so bad. And then because I'm sending to somebody on the East Coast. So, Allie, you're going to write all these up and we're going to have them on the website because I'm sure people are saying like, okay, that Allie is so smart. Now, how can I share this with my family members and friends? And so you're going to write them all up and then they'll be on the website. And then people need to share all this content that we produce with other folks, right?
They should. Yeah, this is handy stuff. So teach somebody else these tricks and then, hey, they might ask you for, they'll probably ask you for more advice if you share such good ideas with them. But that's okay. Just send them our links.
Yes, and then we can be your secret weapon.
Yeah.
Allie, thanks for being here as always. And all right, if you have a relatively new car, it has a lot of tech on board. I mean, think of your car as just a roving computer, right? So you might have telematics, and this is a system that can monitor your vehicle's behavior remotely. The data is your car's location, speed, mileage, tire pressure, fuel use, braking, battery status, and more. So here's the deal. Anything connected to the internet is vulnerable. So if you have a car with built-in telematics, make sure that you always make sure that the onboard software is up to date. The same thing with networking attacks. If you have an OBD port, it could also be hacked. You want to make sure that you always have a physical steering wheel lock on your car too. There's also in-car malware to be careful of. I'm talking about spyware. So on your car system, I never want you to open emails or messages or follow links from unknown sources. There's something called the relay hack that if you have a key fob, and if you do have a key fob, make sure that you are protecting that key fob. Get a box, line it with some aluminum foil. And if you want to learn more about this relay attacks, we have it all written up over at Komando.com. That's Komando.com. Just hit the link that says Kim Show. Or you can just go ahead and search for the tip. Just use the phrase hackable car. All right, still to come, we have more of your phone calls, and we're going to tell you the right height for your doorbell cam. And, of course, you have more of me, Kim Komando. Tom in Fort Myers, Florida. Glad to have you.
Long-time listener, first-time caller. We need your help.
Oh, okay. I'm here for you.
I'm with the Veterans of Foreign Wars VFW post on Pine Island, and we've had to call in special operations, and the only person I know that would be qualified would be somebody with the last name of Commando, and Kim is the first name. So, Kim, here's our situation. We are required by VFW National to have a Facebook page, a nonprofit Facebook page. We generated one a year and a half ago. Then everything's been going fine. Mm-hmm. Then Hurricane Ian came in September, destroyed a lot of stuff on the island. The VFW got through pretty well, but our Facebook page was, blocked, taken down, unaccessed anymore after October 28th. No reason was given, via their emails or the notification system, and we're unable to get back onto it. I'm one of the administrators. I had two others, and they're also unable to get on. and it's been almost 5 months now. This is our main form of communication with our membership.
And of course, you contacted Meta and Facebook and said, please help us, and nobody answered?
Well, we did. I asked for it. It says right now the leading header says, an admin or yourself has asked for a review, and your page is under review, and it's been 5 months.
Yeah, well, that's a long time, isn't it?
Oh,
right?
gosh.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm just going to tell you, this is a problem with putting all your eggs in one basket, right? And being at the whim of a company who really, they don't care about you or what's going on. I mean, they just don't.
They don't.
I wish that I could say that they were a wonderful company that really cared about its customers, but they don't. They just want to see what they can sell about you to whoever it is.
Correct.
That said, is that what they're doing now is they're getting ready to do this, and they're going to be rolling it out, is that you can get what's called a Meta Verified badge. This is a blue badge that's going to be put on your Facebook account. And you get to verify your accounts by using a government ID. And let me tell you my gist on this, okay? So it's going to cost you $12 a month on the web. It's going to cost you more if you go for this through Apple's iOS or Google Play Store. It's going to be $15 a month. It's always this way because Apple and the app stores, they want to get their cuts. So anytime you want to pay for something, you're going to do it on the web, right?
Understood.
So this way you can save a few bucks every month. So what I would do is that I would sign up for this Meta Verified service, okay, knowing that it doesn't verify businesses, okay? But my whole thought, Tom, is that, so the whole idea is that you sign up for this Meta Verified service, and then when you get an 800 number, because that comes with the monthly fee, is that you tell them, hey, here's the deal. You tell them your tale of woe. This is what's going on. So they're just now rolling this out, and I can give you a link to where you can actually check it out and you can sign up for it. So if you want to get on that wait list to do that. I wish I had some magical Kim Komando show fairy dust that I could put upon you, Tom, in Fort Myers and say, yes, this is going to make Facebook act correctly, but my magic fairy dust just is not working right now. Oh. And it doesn't work with Facebook because, as I said, they just don't care. They don't care what happens to you. They don't care what happens to your business. In this case, the VFW. I mean, talk about really being helpful to our veterans of foreign wars. They should be there, but they're not. So I would sign up for their verified service. If that doesn't work for you for some reason, Tom, I can try to find a Facebook contact for you. But I'll tell you, I've tried before for myself, and I couldn't even get it for myself because I'll tell you, they just don't answer any calls for anybody at any time because they just don't give a rat's about any of us unless they're making money off of us. I'll tell you, you can try going to facebook.com/hacked if you haven't already, but I don't know. I haven't heard any good results from that. Okay, so you have your doorbell cam. What is the right height? If you put it up high enough, will you get a picture of the porch pirate's face? You're probably just going to see the top of the head. Too low, you just get feet. So Amazon knows the sweet spot to mount your Ring doorbell cam. You want to be 48 inches from the ground, 4 feet from the ground, because it has this very wide viewing scope, and the doorbell will detect motion up to 180 degrees. Up and down, track faces, no problem. If you mount it any higher, it's no good. So again, just remember 4 feet. Now, if you laughed or you learned just one thing, you owe me a favor. You need to tell 3 friends about the Kim Komando Show podcast, and as well as the show, because knowledge is power. You can find me 24/7 at Komando.com.